like I do, share the show, let everybody know we have the hottest show in this mofo, right? Let's get to it, people. Share the show. We're going to dive right into it. We're going to dive right into it. My brother Joel in this situation. I need you guys to come in, sharing the show, hit that like button. Again, yes, we're late, people. 1,000 apologies. A lot goes into this type of research. A lot goes into this type of research, but let's get to it. Let's get to it, people. Again, people, 1,000 apologies. We started this research some hours ago, and it just went on to a different place. All of these clips that you guys are going to see, they're necessary for you to take our information serious. I don't want to just get up here and say things, right? I want you to see it for yourself. Why is this overloading like this? No, we're not down with that. Okay, we're getting a little bit of feedback. People, if you hear anything, if the audio seems to have wind behind it, let me know. Other than that, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that it's time for us to go. Let's get to it, people. We're going to dive right into it. Since we were a tad bit late, we're going to dive right into it. One more share, and we're almost there. And that's it, people. That's it. People, you know we've shortened up our little catchphrase, our logo, our slogan, all the way up to the point of, people, if you have thin skin and you do not do well with constructive criticism, all in the name of doing better than you did yesterday, you're going to want to leave, probably now. Some of our information, people, it's a little disturbing, right? Very to the point, blunt, but it's beneficial, very beneficial. Topic of today's show, people. What will single women do if the United States really collapses? And I'll be the first to admit, people, this is probably going to be one of those more scarier shows. I'm not saying it to say it. I'm just letting you know. A lot of you who don't have men, and even a small amount of men, you're not going to know about this information. It's been my belief for about a year. Well, I'm sorry, about 3 years, that the United States is going to collapse. A lot of people get fearful when you make statements like that, but how many people didn't know that what goes up must come down? Who didn't know that? You think we could experience all of these amazing amenities of living in the world's superpower, and that's just the way it's going to go for the rest of our lives? Hunky-dory. I was never under that illusion. Never under it. Let's go. Now, this is our more weaker TikTok channel, but nonetheless, we're rocking with our people. We can actually do it like this. So listen, we're going to go ahead and jump to it, people. A lot of you have heard me talk about this on multiple different occasions. Look, the brother see, this is why I tell you, ladies, you need a man. Men know these things. Look what the brother said before I could finish. The great reset is among us. The Bible even goes so far as to say, they shall trample over money over their foot. Money is going to be so worthless. Money is going to be so worthless. You'll just see it laying in the streets, things of that nature. Topic of today's show, people. Well, we have an issue, people. You know I can't make a move without my chapstick. Now, hey, if you guys are going to abandon me behind that, I can't do anything about it. You know I must have my chapstick. Yes, I'm being negligent. I'm being honest, people. I'm being honest, people. This right here, it's like SEX to me. I'm just being honest. It's amazing to me. I've been telling you guys for a great deal of time, single women are going to be in a lot of trouble. A lot of you wanted to make it seem like we were just talking when men were telling you a scenario could pose, a scenario could arise where people are running inside of other people's homes to snatch canned goods, to snatch things. And in the course of 3-person, 5-person militias running in homes, your little 7-year-old daughter is mighty cute. Anarchy, chaos. A lot of you who hear us talk like this, sometimes when we say things that you don't want to agree with, do you know how much smoother it would be if you were already in a relationship for 5 years or more, and the moment you heard men like me talk, you could say, yep, my husband told me that. My husband's been teaching us about stocking up canned goods and storing our arsenal up. There has actually been several women who have come on here and made statements like that. A lot of you ladies, I'm going to say this, but we're going to delve right up into the show. Those of you on TikTok that you want to see the clips that we're going to show, come on over to The Real Stacey Prince. Come on over to The Real Stacey Prince on YouTube, STACY, because there's nothing that's going to be shown today that's not going to be beneficial to your life. But to be honest, we're going to delve right on into this thing. We're going to jump right on into it. Some of you don't know what the BRICS system is. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South America, or South Africa. The United States dollar is pretty much no good anymore. It's pretty much no good. But we're going to delve right into this thing.
Y'all see it down there in South America and all these other countries. I think it's Mexico too, and not Mexico. Well, was it Mexico? South America and couple countries overseas. They are completely no longer accepting the U.S. dollar. You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? Countries are now not accepting the U.S. dollar. Don't forget now, China,
screen, people.
Russia, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, South America. Remember, they dumped a total of about $700 billion in U.S. securities and bonds. They dumped them. Obviously, they know something is better coming. So what does that mean for the American people, and why haven't the news trying to tell us nothing? They dumped the securities. And countries are no longer accepting the U.S. dollar. Wake up, people. Wake up.
This isn't a shock to most men. Most men have been saying things about this. I want you guys to get on Facebook especially. Get in the search engine and type up prepper groups. Type up prepper groups. There's tens of thousands of them. people who have been preparing for this time for like 30, 40, 50 years, right? Because people with good sense knew the United States can't just be the world superpower forever. Rome fell. But what you guys don't understand that this brother was talking about, my brother Joe up in this situation with the super chat. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out, shout out. You heard what my brother said. This is huge. Let's get the likes up. For those of you who don't understand what this brother was talking about when he said the BRICS system, you will now.
Is BRICS. BRICS, or Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, is a group of 5 leading emerging economies. BRICS emerged in 2001 as BRIC and was later joined by South Africa in 2010. The group became a formal geopolitical entity from 2009 onwards, with summits and coordination of policies. The BRICS countries account for around 27% of the world's land surface and approximately 42% of the global population. The grouping is considered a competitor to the G7 bloc, with competing institutions and initiatives in the areas of development economics, financial reserves, currencies and payments.
Listen, people. For those of you who don't know, a monetary system has been put together to dethrone the American dollar. It has been, the United States already has not been really backed by anything. They made a deal with Saudi Arabia. President Reagan was the first. Our dollar used to be backed by gold. For everyone who had a dollar bill in your hand, you were supposed to be able to go and turn it in if you wanted to. Hey, I'd like the amount of gold that this dollar bill is worth, right? You know what the United States began doing? Printing money. Like going out in the back of the projects at the, I don't know, the Nickerson Garden projects, pulling out a printing machine and just get to whamming away, printing money that was worthless. For every dollar that is supposed to be, for every dollar that you guys see, it was supposed to have a tangible mineral to back it. But when we screwed that up, then we went and made a deal with Saudi Arabia, right? We went and made a deal with Saudi Arabia. So basically, our dollars, what they are now, is a debt. They're a debt. That's not flying anymore, people. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and Saudi Arabia all have band together to create a world currency that is backed by precious minerals, by gold, things of that nature. So off the top, it will be more valuable than our monetary system. Saudi Arabia, who we made our deal with, they have just requested to join the BRICS system. For those of you who don't know about the amount of money that Saudi Arabia has, right? The United States pretty much has lost most of its power. But I want to show this again for those of you who don't know what the BRICS system is.
Is BRICS. BRICS, or Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, is a group of 5 leading emerging economies. BRICS emerged in 2001 as BRIC and was later joined by South Africa in 2010. The group became a formal geopolitical entity from 2009 onwards, with summits and coordination of policies. The BRICS countries account for around 27% of the world's land surface and approximately 42% of the global population. The grouping is considered a competitor to the G7 bloc, with competing institutions and initiatives in the areas of development economics, financial reserves, currencies and payments.
We've been telling you guys this for some months. We've been trying to convey to single women that you are unprotected in one of the worst times in United States history. When we told you guys, okay, my brother Joe, okay, let me see here. I want to show you guys how beneficial it is to have a man in your life. My brothers are dropping down information into this chat already. That is how beneficial it is to have a man in your life. Watch this. My brother says the Federal Reserve printed more money in 2020 than we have in the last 50 years combined. Inflation is going to slowly squeeze people out of purchasing power. These are facts. What you guys don't, a lot of you like to do this. A lot of you like to make statements like, well, that's them. Or most human beings, things don't typically matter to them until it knocks on their door. People, this is going to affect them. The United States has a... So studies show that countries don't just collapse. It usually takes around three. It doesn't just take just war. It doesn't just take a depression. It usually takes three combined elements. Maybe a natural, two or three. Maybe a natural disaster like, when Hurricane Katrina, things of that nature, mixed with us being at war, right? Mixed with a depression. Those are the elements that come together and can collapse an entire country, right? They say that we are at a very high likelihood that we're about to go to World War III. There's a 5-star general that went to Congress. I think, what was that? I made a show about that 9-10 months ago. There's a 5-star general that went to Congress and said we need to start preparing for war with China. Listen, here's something that you guys don't want to admit. China has been the world superpower. They've already surpassed us. Years ago that it was said that countries knew that they couldn't whoop the United States, so the only other course of reaction was to whip them economically. Listen, Yellowstone Park is Yellowstone International Park. Do you know how much property China owns over here? Hey, people, China owns TikTok. And I'll tell you who's not going to have a great deal to worry about. Some of you need to look up the collapse of Venezuela. Venezuela fell due to, I think they had probably around 159% inflation increase. You would have to take $40,000 to the grocery store to buy bread and toilet tissue. The dollar can become that worthless, right? The dollar can become that worthless. What did my brother Skinny Boy, let me see. What Skinny Boy got up here? Oh, okay, got you. Let's do this. We're going to rock on out with our Instagram. We've never really done that. We're going to do it today. We're going to do it today, people. Let's get to it. Let's go. A lot of you have heard us talk about these things for a great deal of time. A lot of you ladies who scream women are equal to men, independent women, all of the things of that nature, right? We've told you guys multiple times. We've told you a multitude of times. You'll say that for a second until it hits the fan. Even in the Bible, it goes on to talk about, and in that time, 7 women shall cling on to one man and beg him only to be called after their name. If the United States really does fall, single women are going to be the highest likely targets. If you see people running into other people's homes looking for canned goods and things of that nature, because I live in LA. When the pandemic hit, it's before I even started my show. I actually started, not vlogging, but I don't know, just recording things. LA looks like a ghost town. The clips that you guys are about to see, I have about 8 clips that I'm about to show you guys. You guys know that I don't like to talk and not back things up. The topic of today's show, people, what happens to single women if the United States really does collapse? And I've told you guys, there's a 5-star general that, I think this was a year and a half ago, something like that, said that it was a year ago, we need to start preparing for war with China in the next 18 months. That was a year ago, right? Now here we are on the brink of an economic hurricane is what they're calling it. I want you guys to listen to this.
2024 is going to be very chaotic. It's going to be weird. There's some weird movies coming out. How many guys saw the recent movie Leave the World Behind? Anybody saw that movie there?
I'm gonna
Oh,
pause this
okay.
really quick and tell some of you who can't hear what he's talking about. Mark Zuckerberg just bought a 200 million plus bomb shelter in Hawaii, right? Target has just closed down, I think 150 something, 56 of its stores. I think Amazon is set to lay off 30,000 people. If you people want to ever know who to listen to, pay attention to rich people. They have information that you don't have. They have accountants that you don't have. They have people who they pay to keep them up on these things. Do you think that Target closed down 156 stores because business is going so well? No. And I'm telling you guys now, all of you women who have been for the longest talking about, I don't need a man, women are equal to men, you are on the very cusp of laugh now, cry later. But I'm going to go ahead and play this.
Yeah, you know, all these, am I watching a movie or is this a documentary realistic thing? And then I'm seeing Mark Zuckerberg just spent $100 million building a house in Hawaii with a nuclear bunker. What does he know that the rest of the world doesn't know about? Talk about the timing. Oh, accidentally, coincidentally, a week after that movie comes out, a new movie comes out. What's the name of that movie? Civil War. Leave the world behind. Our power grid in America hasn't been updated. 75% of it hasn't been updated in 50 years. And you're kind of talking about that. Then you're pitting whites against blacks. There's a line in the movie that says, Dad, you know if something goes down, we can't trust these white people. I know that's something both you and Mom agree on. Why do you put that line in the movie, Barack? And you were helping with the script. Why would you put that in the movie? Why would you put that in the movie? Barack, weren't you the same guy that gave a talk at the DNC in 2004 about bringing people together? What happened to that guy?
A lot of you have been walking around in the lap of luxury in the United States for decades. And this is why we tell women it's so easy for women in America to get incorrigible, even disrespectful to men, things of that nature, because men have built a comfort zone so strong for women to where we built the luxuries that enable you to say all of the disrespectful things that you do about men. You're so spoiled and you're so comfortable, you don't have it in you to be paying attention to the things that are going on around you. We've told you these things several times. Now, when these things are here, but I'm going to show you some more of these clips. I want you to see these clips. A lot of you would say, well, these people are talking doomsday content, things of that nature. When I tell you guys that it's likely that people will be running up in other people's homes because grocery store shelves are bare and empty, things of that nature, it's already happening. See, what you guys don't understand, when something is coming, the streets typically scream out first. It's not rich people or it's not middle class people who have put a cushion up for themselves. It takes them longer to feel the brunt of the blast of an economic crunch because they have resources put up. But guess who feels it immediately? People who didn't have any money put up and were already living check to check. I want to show you guys something. Yeah, we can go here with it. Let's go here with it. This is happening in LA right now. This is real, happening in LA, and 100% of you even know about it. You don't even live in LA, yet you know about this. That's how frequent it's happening. Let me check my brother out over here. My brother Mike, check up in this situation with the super chat. My brother says facts. Hyperinflation will be the death of so-called middle class. Listen, in LA, there is no middle class. There's not. I should have pulled that clip. In my personal life, I've told you guys, I have seen 2 very attractive women out here in these streets homeless. This thing is hitting people hard. What you guys don't understand is places like New York and LA, When you hear rumors of things like this, these are the places that you want to pay attention to because they get hit first, right? These docks, things like that, they get hit first. I want to show you this.
Concealed. Investigated. Another flash mob hits a retail store, escaping with thousands of dollars in merchandise.
Now, this right here is an elderly couple. These are women. These are women that you're seeing right now. Showed up at an elderly couple's home, told them, could we do some work for you? Things of that nature. And look. Walking out with things now, and they can't be stopped. It's an elderly couple. See, this was good to show you this because it shows you this isn't just affecting men or black men or something like that. Everybody's in this crunch. These are women. These are women who, based on the actions, they're showing you it's tough. They're showing you how tough it is, right? But let's go a step further. I can't show you that, I see, because they'll hit. Here's what they're doing very consistently out here. Watch this woman. She's at home. What you see her doing now is dancing and playing with her child. Look at the arrow. She didn't know she was followed home by a white sedan. Soon as she got in, they came in behind her. And they're telling her that they want her bag, her baby bag. And these are neighbors that are like, we can't believe that this is happening. But the hardcore truth people, it's a regular occurrence. Those of you who think that we were joking when we made statements like people running in other people's houses for canned goods and things like that, it hasn't reached that level yet. But it has reached the level to where people are running in other people's homes, trying to see what valuables they can get. When this thing really, really hits, when we get hit with the United States really having to expose its hand, that it doesn't have resources, that people are using. I want to show you guys this one more time. I want to show you this one more time.
This is BRICS. BRICS, or Brazil,
No,
Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is a
Y'all see it down there in South America and all these other countries. I think it's Mexico too, and not Mexico. Well, was it Mexico? South America and a couple countries overseas. They are completely no longer accepting the U.S. dollar. You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? Countries are now not accepting the U.S. dollar. Don't forget now, China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, South America. Remember, they dumped a total of about $700 billion in U.S. securities and bonds. They dumped them. Obviously, they know something is better coming. So what does that mean for the American people, and why haven't the news trying to tell us nothing?
Now, I'm not going to, I haven't verified his information yet, so I'm not going to tell you to stand on it. But his information coincides with what I've been telling you. Got the research that I've done months ago. I missed the super chat over here, I'm certain. My brother, Mr. You Dig, in this situation with the super chat. Shout out to my brothers who make sure we can keep this thing going. I don't like the issues that we've been having, and it's doing it again. Let me see what the, you know what? Give me a second, people. Give me a second. These cameras are too expensive for us to be experiencing this quality. Okay, that's on point. Hopefully we're better off, people. Hopefully we're better off. And we're not. We're going to have to find out what's up with these cameras. But listen, you guys have seen us talking about this for quite some time. And that's why the topic of tonight's show was almost laugh now, cry later. Because that's what takes place. People typically don't take things serious until it touches their doorstep. But that's not it. Let's go. Oops, that's not it. This is real, people. I drive past that on a regular to do business in downtown LA. It's very real. Now, I'm going to say this. This is my own personal understanding based on what I see. Do you guys know that California is the first state to just recently offer health care to, I forget how many, was it millions of immigrants that just came here? I can't imagine how any state could do that. I can't imagine. But I'm going to say this. It almost seems like they're trying to collapse California. Joe Biden somehow ended up with $30 million in his account, right? What I'm telling you people is I think the most powerful people in the United States already know that the United States is about to collapse, and they're making provisions so that it doesn't affect them the way that it will affect everybody else. People are even willing to commit atrocious crimes. The things Joe Biden did, now we know that this guy doesn't really know his own name at this point in time, but the things that people are doing, it's almost brazen crimes that even politicians are doing, like out of fear. Like they know that they need to do this thing to secure themselves, or not securing themselves, or the punishment of committing this crime won't be worse than if they don't secure themselves. Like, it's my personal opinion. I believe we have some months, maybe 3, 5 to 6 months before we see the effects of something that was spawned 2 years ago, right? I'm not talking about the dollar collapsing, because that thing has been in the makings for quite some time. That has been in the making for quite some time. I want you guys to understand what this right here is.
Is BRICS. BRICS, or Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, is a group of 5 leading emerging economies. BRICS emerged in 2001 as BRIC and was later joined.
We have 2 times the people in here that we do have likes. Hit that thumbs up, people. Do you guys know what all goes into putting this show together? The least you guys can do is hit that thumbs up button. Let's go, people. Hit that thumbs up button. We definitely got to get these likes up. You better believe it. $150,000 house in California would easily go for $500,000. Easily. Likely to go for 6. Hey people, we're not gonna, if you guys can't get those likes up, we're not gonna proceed on with the show. You guys gotta do better. It's entirely too much. Why do you guys think that the show is late sometimes? There's a ton that goes into this show, into these clips, into editing these clips, into researching what the clips are talking about, right? There's too many people in here for us to not have the same amount of likes, people. Let's go. And see, that's what I tell you guys about the panderers, the simps. They tell women all of these amazing things that women want to hear, but they stay stuck on one particular field of content. Ladies, you're amazing. Don't let nobody put you down for having multiple children, things of that nature. But guess what we touch on? We touch on the business sector, the relationship dynamic, right? The dress wear, latest colognes, current affairs around the country, right? We touch on all of the things that matter and all of the things that stand the greatest chance of affecting us, or all of the things that stand the best chance of benefiting us. And what I'm telling you guys is this. I know the Bible says that 2/3 of the population shall be wiped away. What I pretty much know, I know that single women aren't going to stand a chance. And the single women who will, guess what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to go and inconvenience their sons, their dads, and things of that nature because they didn't handle their own business. Guess what their own business was? Making sure that you have a man throughout the hardest times in your existence. I just really believe that people really didn't pay attention when Kevin Samuels was saying die alone. He doesn't mean the death itself. He's talking about taking on the harsh realities that the world can bring on your shoulders alone. That's the dumbest thing that a person can do if you don't have to. It's dumb. Even a man will benefit from a woman in the harshest times of the unknown. There will be two people there who can encourage each other, right? Lift each other up. The woman, if the man loves her, will turn into an automatic incentive for that man to perform at high levels. You think men don't get scared? A man who doesn't get scared is a psychopath, right? And what experience has taught us, even psychopaths know how far to go. You don't often see psychopaths running up on people 2 times bigger than them. They'll go get a weapon, right? Men and women stand a better chance to sustain each other throughout life's most harshest moments than feminine women who say, but I got my gun permit. We laugh when you guys say that foolishness. We laugh because that's what it is. It's foolishness. It's the highest levels of foolishness. And here's what we do know. You'll only say it for a short amount of time. Here's what the BRICS system is.
By South Africa in 2010. The group became a formal geopolitical entity from 2009 onwards, with summits and coordination of policies. The BRICS countries account for around 27% of the world's land surface and approximately 42% of the global population. The grouping is considered a competitor to the G7 bloc, with competing institutions and initiatives in the areas of development economics, financial reserves, currencies, and payments. Is BRICS.
I've been telling you guys about the BRICS system for some years now. Or, yeah, it's been 2. It's been 2 years that I've been telling you guys about the BRICS system. But what takes place in the United States is because you guys are so used to your comfort zone, you have the ability to, the moment that you hear me, go lay on your couch and remove your mind from it. But people watch your favorite show, eat your favorite snack, and instantly, the threat and the incentive to prepare for things that might come are instantly removed away from you. But guess who don't? Guess what group of people doesn't have the luxury to do that? Venezuelan. Venezuela collapsed. A lot of you don't even know it. I think it was 2018. Venezuela was hit hard with an economic crunch that it didn't survive. And guess what they're over there doing right now? Everything that I told you is going to take place in the United States. Robbing and looting. Do you know how valuable food is in Venezuela? Do you have any clue? Look it up right now if you don't believe me. Your life. Walk in the streets of Venezuela with a burger. It will be the last bite that you take. It will be the last bite that you take. And here's the thing. Unfortunately, a lot of you women are so spoiled, you have been tricked into believing that you really don't need a man. But here's the bad part that's going to happen. Men aren't going to accept you. Once you see things unfolding, a lot of you believe this. A lot of you believe that when things get bad, just like that, you'll be able to reach out to so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. No, you won't. Do you think somebody who has $60 worth of groceries in their home are going to let you in so you can kill the amount of time that they had with that surplus before you arrived? No. You're going to see, those white neighbors that, hey, Shanice, hey, how's everybody doing? How's Taquan doing? We're talking about 60 years old. You're going to see something in 60-year-old men who are nice, respectful, productive members of society. You're going to see them turn into monsters. Because whereas you know him as respectful, nice, Mr. Smith, the Smith family, what you don't realize is it's day 3 of them watching their youngest boy doze off, nod off up against the wall because they haven't had any food already for 5 days. You're going to see an absolute monster come out in a lot of people. I would do it myself. We're just being honest. I would do it myself. I'm going to say this again. This is LA right now. Right now. Everywhere. Everywhere. I really wish that I could walk outside with. I live in a good neighborhood. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And it's more and more people. Listen, there are people who work at Walmart has opened up its parking lot for, I guess we can still call them middle class, but they're not really middle class. People are sleeping in their cars, waking up in the morning and going to work. I'm going to say this again. If you guys want to pay attention to something, pay attention to what happens in places like LA, New York, Texas, major places, major cities, right? Pay attention. Pay attention to the cry that you hear. The reason that you guys are seeing a lot of smash and grabs, listen, do you know those smash and grabs and those follow homes that I showed you guys? Do you know how many of them I could have loaded this laptop up with? Go to YouTube and type in follow home robberies. It's endless. It's endless. And I want to say this to you people. I want to say this. Do you guys think that they're doing that because they're bad people? No. It has reached them already. I call my cousin regularly. And I tell him, every time I go into the grocery store, it's traumatizing. It's traumatizing. I sent them, there's been twice that I've sent them me walking out of Vons or Ralph's with 6 items. I think, what was it? Bread. It was bread, peanut butter, potato chips, energy drink, and a pound of turkey meat, sliced turkey, $45. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I know it's not just me. I guarantee you, people, a week before they know they need to go grocery shopping, dread it. It's crazy. It's crazy. If you guys ever want to see what's coming ahead, pay attention to the streets first. And I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to say it. Turbulence, people. The drug world is the first to see economic shifts. The drug world is. Listen, my brother Joe said shit. What did he say? What's a LB? Oh, a pound. Pound of carne asada. I thought he was talking. Instantly, when I hear carne asada, my mind goes to tacos. Because listen, that's another thing. I'm glad he brought that up. You cannot find, trust me, and pretend that I'm telling the God's honest truth. You cannot find an empty 3-block radius anywhere in Southern California where there isn't multiple, and they do look professional, I'll be honest, where there isn't multiple. I'm going to see if I can pull them up right now. The Latino community, they know something's going on. And I'm going to tell you guys something else. The reason I tell you it seems like they're trying to intentionally sabotage and collapse California, I don't know why, but they removed the necessity of having somebody tell me the health department to come inspect people who have set up their own food services. I can't imagine why they did that. I can't even put a number on it. There's thousands of Latinos set up on every shop now, right? I mean, on every corner. There's 3 on one corner. And these aren't no rinky-dink pop-up stands. Listen, you see these people. I'm going to pull it up. Listen. You see these people. They run it professionally. Late at night, you see them spraying down the sidewalk. I guess maybe Rite Aid lets them do it. I don't know. Spraying down their equipment, and they make sure they clean up their mess. And listen, they're making real money. There's 3 to each block. Now you have to ask yourself, why would the government allow, no longer requiring the Board of Health to inspect your food shop, right? Why would they allow free health care for millions of immigrants? What could pay for that? What could provide? That's not reasonable. A lot of Americans are suffering without health care. But I'm going to pull this up so you can see it. Is this it? Let me see. I think this is it. If it is, I am going to screenshot video this, and this is it. Listen, the food trucks, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. I'm telling you, if you live in LA, you see the end. You see that the end is near. I went to a taco truck when I ate meat. This was a month ago. A taco and a pop was $18. Burrito and a pop was $18. This is what I should have typed in. I want to show you guys this. They've been getting robbed. But this is it, though. This is it. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This looks like this might even be in my area. I'm not going to play the sound, but I'm going to let you guys see this. Okay, let me push this in your direction. I don't think my cousin believed me when I told him it's every corner. It's every corner. And I don't knock them. I don't knock them. I'm talking about the simple fact that why would you remove a requirement that they be inspected by the health department? Like, it sounds like intentional sabotage, right? It's really crazy. I'm gonna pull it up for you guys right now. There we go. This is what it looks like. There we go. That's what it looks like right there. You see how the meat, it's like how they do the, what's it called? Actually, I'm not even going to do it like that. Do it like this. Don't want to play the audio, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Assaulted or even robbed. And now a nonprofit newsroom has actually crunched.
That's how it looks. They have these things spinning on every corner. On every corner. When I tell you I don't know. It looks like something has been orchestrated. I don't have the information on what's going on behind the scenes of this, but things are being allowed to happen that our government has never allowed to happen, right? Yeah, Joe said it's pork. Yeah, I don't mess around, good brother. I don't mess around. Let me check my brothers. My brothers got comments up in here. Skinny Boy said illegal immigration is swamping Cali, Texas, New York, and Chicago. No doubt about it. Yeah, listen. A lot of women have been listening to our shows, have been giving us pushback, kickback. You won't see that for much longer. But the crazy part is this. The crazy part is this. Where are my show supporters at? Where are my people at? The crazy part is this, people. At that time, when you see things brewing up and getting as serious as all of the things that you've heard and try to latch on to people, people are going to have seen the same things that you saw on the news. People are going to have the same information you have, and it's going to come down to self-preservation. People aren't going to be allowing you and your kids to come up in their homes. They know that the canned goods and the non-perishables and the water that they have, anyone who's been preparing, they know how much it's set to last them. Let's say that it's set to last them 3 months. You and your 2 kids takes that thing down to a month. Right? Ask yourself this. Would you allow them to come in your house and you knew that you had 3 months worth of supplies for you and your children? No. Neither will other people. This is why we are always on this channel telling you guys that you should be going out of your way, being adamant and kicking doors down about being in a relationship. Because listen, if we're going to be honest about this thing, it's going to get very, 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 very violent. You want to see a people come unglued? Present a scenario to them where their immediate future looks very uncertain. And you'll see things that resemble hell. It was too much footage, so I didn't screen record it, but go to YouTube. Check out Venezuela. Check out Venezuela. Looks absolutely terrible. Looks like Skid Row downtown LA. Chicago. I believe Chicago is going to be hit hard. Dallas, Texas is going to be hit hard. LA, New York, Florida, especially places where they have warmer climates, right? They'll be hit hard with high levels of violence. Listen, these people are running into Macy's. Listen, they just took $240,000 worth of Hermes luxury items. They're doing it in broad day. That's why they're calling it brazen crime. Brazen meaning I almost don't care if I get caught. Like it's better than going 3 days without eating. I haven't eaten in 3 days. We're talking about right now, people. We're talking about right now. This is one of our shows that won't get that many clicks, things of that nature. It doesn't matter. I didn't even do this show for that. This is a show to let you know. This is one of those shows that is designed to let you know. Okay, I played myself. I played myself a little bit. We got to do better with these. Hold on. Where are our... Okay, we're missing an entire screen over here. We are missing an entire screen. That's crazy. I know what I did wrong. But listen, people, we're not going to have a long show tonight. What I want you guys to do, those of the women who are in your family, send this link to them. Send this link to them. There's plenty of video content in here to let people know that this stuff is real, people. My brother's always on point with it. You heard my brother Mike check up in this situation. Ladies and gentlemen, show your support. $2 or whatever. Time is money. If you're finding value in the conversation, show your support. My brother's always rocking heavy with us. My brother Joe kicking the door down with the super chat. My brother said breaking bread. Listen, fellas, this isn't just for the ladies. Those of you who haven't been talked to about things like this, you need to prepare your home. Because listen, there will come a time where if people smell things coming out of your microwave, I'm really curious how many people think this is far-fetched. I'm really curious, actually. This stuff is beyond real. It's at our doorsteps. I live in LA. It's here already. The only thing that hasn't happened is the unveiling of it. They've been spending millions of dollars just to cover up what's really taking place because they know if people knew, mass panic would spread all throughout California. But what happens is when panic spreads in California, it goes to other places. People, what do you think happened during the pandemic? People started buying up the toilet tissue. It's called mass hysteria panic. Listen, I'm not one for, what do they call them? Conspiracy theories. He says Biden is setting people up for the apocalypse. Right? I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but man, this thing is starting to look a little bit. That could have been a terrible mess. This thing is starting to look a little bit too brazen. Like they're not even hiding the weird things that they're doing. They're not hiding the weird things that they're doing. We don't understand what would make a person allow free health care for immigrants and all United States citizens don't have it. Who's going to pay for that? Shout out to my brother kicking the door down with the super chat. My brother always supporting the show. Salute, my brother, salute. My brother said a 10 spot for the Ninja Watchers. He's talking about people who benefit from the show and the research just as much as we do, but never contribute to the show. It's actually a bit weird, to be honest. If you come regularly, you shouldn't feel okay with watching the same people kick 20s, 50s, and 100s out to the show on a regular. My brother Gatewood up in this situation with the super chat. Shout out to you, my brother. My brother said, good evening, Stacy. I've been supporting and will keep from way back when. From way back when. Listen, I want my brothers and my sisters to be prepared. You have a brother out here in California, so you're going to get firsthand glimpse of things that are taking place as they take place, right? I'm going to be real with you. Well, that's too much information. I already have a contingency. Me and my brother were privy to this, like, we started preparing for this, like 15, 16 years ago, right? It only makes sense. How many of you really thought that we could live in the lap of luxury of the United States, experience all of the luxuries that we have, pretty much never have to worry about much, and just live the rest of our lives like that? I always knew what goes up must go down. I even incorporate that into my dating life. Gorgeous women, I know that there's something up with them. I don't believe anything is just sweet. You get a Mercedes-Benz, a 2019 Mercedes-Benz for $5,500, you're going to get what you pay for, right? I don't believe anything is just sweet. I've never moved like that. I don't think things like that work. Ms. Jabria Nick's up in this situation. Shout out to all of my show contributors. This just shows how messy people are. They don't cater to business information, only drama and messiness. That's why shows like this are not popular. So sad. You'll see, listen, you'll get to see. But the truth of the matter is, people who don't see the value in things like this, I'm telling you what's going to happen. You'll see who the people are who don't see values in these particular types of information, because they'll be the ones who get caught off guard when it hits. They'll be the ones who get caught off guard. My brother Joe said they don't have to. Everyone is distracted at the circus in Babylon. As long as the game is on and the beer is cold, we are checked out. We must do better. These are facts. Because listen, there's going to come a time that game is the last thing that's going to be on your mind. And that time is here, people. I'm telling you the truth. I see it every day out here in LA. I see it. And I have to salute. Listen, I'm going to shout out my brothers and sisters in the Latino community. These brothers and sisters are playing no games. I know they know. If you guys could really see these pop-up tents, these people are out here getting that money for real. I've never seen anything like it. Just the volume of it you would think would be illegal. It's almost like they're saying, hey, we know something that you don't know. The craziest part, there will be 3, and these aren't small tents. These are not small tents. Each of these tents is the size of like a mobile home. Listen, these people have gas, propane tanks. These people have large cooking grills. These people have real pop-up shops. One right next to the other, right next to the other. The most that I've seen is 3 on the same block, and they're getting along. I don't understand it. I don't understand. But guess who I haven't seen? My good old faithful Blackens. They're out buying the Jordans, smashing hoes, right? Smashing ninjas, getting faded, turning that blunt back, and they're going to be wiped the F out. They won't stand a chance. They won't stand a chance. My brother, I think it was Joe, who said, shout out to Miss Brenda, always kicking that door down with the support. That's what I'm talking about. My brother Mike Tech said Jabria Nix with the $10 holla. right? But I want to, my grandmother used to say this, and this is something that we can all share. My grandmother used to, when she would pray, she would say things like, and Father, I just want to thank you for being in my right mind. Do you know how much of a blessing it is that we can all understand this information, take it in, and have the wherewithal to prepare for it? There's nothing deadly about a pop. The most deadly thing about a pop quiz is not knowing that it's coming. You know who a pop quiz typically doesn't affect? People who are always preparing. They walk in there and they slice through that test like a hot knife through butter and get right back on about their business. My goal has always been this. When me and my little brother would talk about it, my goal has always been, when this situation does surface, maybe you won't be able to escape it entirely, I don't know, but to make sure it doesn't impact you the same degree that it impacts people who weren't prepared. That's my goal. I don't want to look over there and see my daughter on her 5th day of me not being able to even get her any, Campbell's beans and weenies, right? That's dying the death, the death of 1,000 cuts. That's torture. To have to sit there and watch your children go through anguish because you didn't handle your business. Ladies, 5 and 6 man militias running up in your house. And let's be real. Most people who have been in the same home for some years, we typically know who's who lives where, who's single, who's married. When that monster comes out in people, it's my personal belief that those will be the first houses to get hit. People who know Tanisha has been a baby mama. Christina has been a baby mama. Chandra has been a baby mama the whole time she's been living in this neighborhood. So I know she doesn't have a protector or a defender. We just saw her take some groceries in there last week. I'm telling you about what I would do. I'm not a bad person, but what would you do? What would you do? When this thing does unfold, it's going to turn average, ordinary, everyday, productive citizens, nice guys, respectful women, into people who believe in survival of the fittest. I know what I would do. I'm sure you know what you would do. What would you do if you went over to your neighbor's door, asking them if they had any bread or anything of like that? Because your daughter, she's sleeping, you can't wake her up, and you don't even know if she's, and they said, we don't have anything to spare, but you smelt something in the house. What would you do? I know what I would do. I know what I would do. And these are the conversations that we need to have. These are the conversations that we need to have. Because without having these conversations, our daughters go unprotected, right? The Bible says, and they should trample, and foot shall trample over money. Like, dollars are going to be in the streets. It's not going to be worth anything. Loaf of bread costing $600. That's why when they said, who was that? Who was it? Was it Bill Gates? I remember when they were saying something about Bill Gates giving every particular group of people $1,000 or something like that. I was never for that. $1,000 would not be worth anything then. Right? Talking about inflation. Homeless people walking around with $1,100 in their pocket. Right? It would drive anything that you see that is in abundance is not valuable. Name me something that is in great abundance that's extremely valuable. You can't even say water. Water's not in great abundance. Why do you think they were looting the grocery stores for it? Anything of value is going to have a limited surplus. Listen, she said it before I cut into her. The first thing I saw was I depend largely on God. The first thing that came to my mind was, okay, yeah, if you look at those scriptures, God tells you to prepare, even all the way to the point of the parable of the 10 talents. But she says, I depend largely on God, but faith without works is dead. I agree. I have a room where I stock dry goods and cans for such a time as that. Better safe than sorry. These are facts. These are facts. My brother Joe said it's time to start collectives within our community to create gardens for fruit and veggies to sustain. Rouse and the rest will not come through. Bill Gates owns over 90% of all and that's crazy. That's crazy. So that by itself lets you know that this thing is being orchestrated. He already believes that there's too many people on earth, right? Especially America. So a lot of you ladies who think that what we're saying is crazy right now, conspiracy theorists, if you had a man, you would be able to contribute some of this very same information to the conversation today. Because men have been knowing about things like this. Men have these conversations, right? Those of you who don't, it'll be doomsday for you. 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And listen, people, I rock heavy with you guys. You know it. We're out of here. Shout out to all of my show contributors.